I'm going to stutter here real quick. Sorry guys, I got to turn on my do not disturb. And hopefully we're back. Let me get my chat going on my laptop. Test check. Test check. All right, 2-3 seconds of lag. Not too bad. Johnny Osprey, welcome. All right, let me figure out what I'm gonna smoke. I think I'll smoke this sitting 8701 that I made a video about a little while back. 6mm filtered, so let me pull out the Savinelli 6mm. And you guys, just so you know, I've tried several different 6mm filters. The white elephants are my second favorite. Actually, the white elephants are my personal favorite. But they're pretty neck and neck with these Savinellis. The Savinellis have less problem with draw restriction, which is why I prefer, well, I prefer the white elephants because I just don't have to worry about tongue bite. But occasionally with the white elephant filters, I got to take them out and shake them up, or even throw one away that's too tight. But I've tried these Charcoalito 6mm filters. These are smaller than normal 6mm filters, and they do not work as well. And I've tried some others like the Giza, again a little bit smaller in length, and just don't seem to work as well, probably because there's not as much space for enough charcoal. But they're better than nothing, but those are set to the side, and I will probably never use them unless I absolutely am out of Savinelli or White Elephant 6mm filters. Oh. I'm gonna smoke some Blue Ridge from Cornell and Deal. I think I smoked that last week, didn't I? Cliff, welcome, sir. P.O. Heinrichsen, Johnny Osprey. Oh, I already said hi to you. Dr. Davy, the hair will not be cut for quite some time. I've made it this far. I'm just going to keep trucking. The beard, I think, the last time I shaved it in December, just before Christmas. I think I'm going to grow it a full year. It's been growing out since December, and it looks like this. I think I'm going to grow it a full year, and then I'm just going to cut it. That's the plan for now. But the hair, I'm going to keep growing it. Loves me some Blue Ridge, says Cliff. I know you do. Cogs and Sprockets, glad you like that Rattray's pipe. This Blue Ridge could stand a little drying time, so we'll see if it'll light okay for me. May have a bit of trouble getting it going. WKRP Piper. You know what? I don't have a drink out here. Would you guys mind me running in for a drink? Talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back. Because if I have a coughing fit, I'll need a drink. I'm back, I'm back, I'm back. Man, best live stream ever. What'd I miss? Alright, let's get this thing back on. There we go. So I got my pipe loaded up, but let me go ahead and pour my drink of the evening. I'm gonna drink some kombucha. You guys have seen me drink kombucha every now and then. I would call it a healthy substitute for beer, to be honest with you guys. Now, there is no absolute substitute in my mind for beer, but kombucha is second best in my opinion. Well, it really depends on the kind of beer profile you enjoy, which for me it's hoppy IPAs, and what kind of kombucha you enjoy, which for me, the ginger lemon or the gingerade flavors, blends, brews, whatever you want to call them. Those work pretty well in a pinch for me, as far as similar in flavor profile to a heavy IPA. But if you don't like ginger, you ain't gonna like that. Okay, let me see if I can light this up. What's everyone else smoking this evening? I'm sure most of y'all saw that Mutton Chop had a new video out this past week. Talking about the breath method again. He was flogging a dead horse, he said. And I just took some time and you know, I don't do the breath method a whole lot, but I've spent some time this week working on it, and it's still not something that I do as a matter of course. It's not my default smoking method. I tend to take in and blow out through my nose most of the time. The breath method I have kind of a hard time with. Not all the time, just in the case of clenching. It's really hard for me to clench. I have to really concentrate. Let's see, I'm clenching. So I can do it, but when I'm not fully focused on it, when I'm reading or writing or typing or whatever, it's hard for me to, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's hard for me to keep a seal on my mouth and do that breath method without sucking in a little bit of smoke into the back of my throat, which of course I don't want to do. I don't want to inhale that smoke because I'll wind up in a coughing fit. That's why I wanted to grab my drink, because I knew I wanted to talk about that. And when I really try to 100% use the breath method, there are times when I'll wind up inhaling some smoke down the wrong way. Now, typically when I retrohale, I'll take in, move my pipe away from my mouth and then retrohale. But I am going to keep practicing that, and I really thought that was a worthy video and a worthy topic to revisit. So if you guys haven't seen that from Mutton Chop, go check it out. H&H Virginia Flake. No. So Richard, my pipe has some Cornell and Deal Blue Ridge in it. Cliff, me too. Yeah, I've enjoyed the breath method my whole life as well. It's better than not breathing. Let me get situated better here. All right, what did I want to talk about this evening? For some reason, I've got this collecting bug that I've always had. So the pipe collection is not the first collection I've ever had. Won't be the last. Might be the longest running. I would say that. Because I've always been interested in the pipe, even before I smoked. And I just love pipe smoking so much. I just don't see that going away. But, you know, as early back as being a kiddo, I would collect baseball cards. I would collect comic books. I remember when I got into comic books, that was just it for me, man. That was the most... Comic books were the most amazing thing to me as like a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old. And that lasted for several years. And I've been kind of on again, off again comic book fan. Haven't kept up with comics in several years at this point, but I still like going back and reading some of those classics from when I was a kid, or even before that, such as, this is the Wolverine 4-issue limited series in graphic novel form. But I remember these, you know, back on the newsstands back in the day, early 80s. Very cool. Chris Claremont and Frank Miller. You know, I collect video games now. Have been for a few years. Well, I mean, I've played video games since I was probably 10 as well, or even before that. But never really considered a collection because as a kid I'd have to sell stuff to buy more stuff. So I'd wind up selling 3 games to buy 1 game. That kind of thing. I'm working to something, you guys, but we'll put that discussion on pause for a minute while I catch up on the comments. John, the sale went fairly well. June was a rough sales month. I mean, it was my worst sales month since last June. So that's obviously a cyclical thing. I can look back and see when things get really hot, people become less interested in pipes. And I get that. But the 4th of July sale was a good boost. Still nowhere near what 2 or 3 months ago was, but we'll get back around to decent sales. I'm here when y'all need me. Oh, the Superman cartoon series from the early 40s is on YouTube, huh? For free? I'll have to look that up. I know now you can rent things on YouTube, like movies and whatnot. I'm like, that's not for me. If I'm gonna rent something, I'll rent it through Amazon. I'm not gonna rent something through YouTube. I'm just not gonna start that. Unless it's something I really want to watch and it's not available on Amazon. But I tend to pick 1, maybe 2 outlets to buy things from. And for me, renting movies is Amazon. But yeah, when I was into comics, I was primarily a Marvel guy. So it's been fun watching the Marvel universe unfold in cinema after all these years. Not many of those movies really, I mean, they're fun, don't get me wrong, but they don't really capture what I get out of comic books by and large. But like the X-Men movies, the tone of the X-Men movies, I know they're not MCU, but that tone is way off from what I like from X-Men comics. There's a sense of fun and family, and you just don't see that in the movies. I think the X-Men would be a really strong Disney Plus show rather than a movie. I think pretty much I would like smaller comic book stories on the small screen. I would say 100% of the time rather than getting another round of big bombastic Marvel movies. I'd rather see TV shows. And the ones we've gotten so far have been really good. My favorite being WandaVision. That was the first one, and so far it's still my favorite. But I've really liked Loki as well. My retirement from the rat race. I am enjoying myself. It's been a week and a half since my last day. it's been quite the, and I'm still not there, but it's been a good week and a half of detox from not feeling just worried and high strung all the time about that day job. But I got a lot of work to do with the pipe Nook. So I'm gonna give it another week or so and then kick things into high gear. Plenty of new pipes coming to the pipe Nook through the end of the year. Michael, I don't sell Costello or estate pipes. So for those two items, or those two categories, I would say check with Mike at Briar Blues. For he carries both. Dave, the case behind me, let's see. I think it's 56 pipes. I think that's what it holds. And I have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in front of me here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over there. And then I got some behind me here on a rack that you can't really see in the camera. So let's say 66, 76. I probably got 80 pipes out here, and then I've got some in glass cases in the office in the house. So I have more than enough pipes. Too many pipes. Briared up, welcome. Oh, let's see. Dave, I can't get a hold of any Savinelli Series 3s right now. I'm absolutely sold out of them. And still waiting on back orders dating back as far as January. So Savinelli's still having a hard time with that, with the inventory. Other, other pipes as well, but the Series 3 were my best-selling pipes, and I'm gonna have to call again this week about those. Every time I ask, I'm just told that they're coming, but they can't say when. So in the meantime, I'm going to introduce some other series, some other lines that are available. I'm sure they won't be as popular as the Series 3s. I know you guys, a lot of y'all are like me. You find the Series 3s are a really sweet spot in quality versus value. As long as you don't mind some imperfections, they are fantastic smokers at a good price. But unfortunately, they're just not available right now. When they are, I will sing and dance in the streets and make you send out an email about them. What's the difference between estate pipes and what I sell? Travis, that is a good question. Estate pipes are basically used pipes. They don't have to be used. I mean, they don't have to be smoked, but they were pipes that were in someone's collection previously. Currently I only sell brand new pipes from the manufacturers. Was a time that I had a page dedicated to estate pipes, but they were just pipes from my personal collection that I was selling off. I've never bought estate pipes to sell. So that's the difference. There are some good deals to be had in estate pipes. You can get a nice smoking pipe that's, tried and true for a better price than new. But some people just don't like having to clean up somebody else's old pipe. Or you might be able to find one that's been cleaned, refurbished, repaired if needed. That's going to cost you more than, a standard estate pipe that's in need of attention. So it's a give and take. We got 54 in the house, you guys. Yeah, there was a Kilter Piper Steve and or Miss Kathy. There was a day last week, middle of a work day, that I just decided I was going to take a break and go for a drive. Something that I just couldn't do before. Especially not when you're working in an office. When I was working in an office complex, there was no deciding you wanted to take a break and go for a drive. You get 2 15-minute breaks a day if you take a 30-minute lunch. Or you get no breaks and an hour-long lunch. So it was kind of a revelation for me to just kind of look around and be like, okay, there's nothing pressing right now that I absolutely have to do, and I'm not concerned about anything, any fires. I can go for a 30-minute drive or however I want and come back and do the work when I want. That was revelatory for me. So I'm sure I'm going to have more and more kind of moments like that where But, the handoff to that is, yesterday, I worked until about 10 o'clock at night. I took a break for dinner, but I worked on stuff till about 10 o'clock. But I didn't even think about it. I was just working on my business, It was a good thing. I wasn't stressed about it because, it was something I had to do. It was something I wanted to do. Michael Scott, if you're trying all the McBaron tobaccos first, that's going to take you some time. My number one favorite McBaron tobacco is Old Dark Fired. I would say try that. That is my recommendation. I also really like their Navy Flake. It really depends on what kinds of blends you find you like, but their Latakia Flake is really good. Um, those would be my picks, but you know, you get a different point of view for different palates out there. Some may think their pure Virginia is one of the best Virginias, and it's good. It's just it wasn't one of my favorite Virginias. Well, I don't want to say that. It was one of my favorite Virginias, just not a. I guess straight Virginias, as a general rule, aren't favorites of mine. I do love the Peterson Flake, though. Cliff 626 is your favorite shape? I knew you liked it, but I was kind of hoping you'd jump on the 642 train. Yeah, I like the 626, but I don't know. I've got 3 or 4 shapes above that in the Savinelli line that I prefer. But hey, differences are what make the world go round. Good grief. My comments lurched up this time. I missed a ton of stuff. You know, it's good estate pipes are probably at the moment like used cars. It's getting tougher to find a good deal on a used car right now. With there not being quite as many new cars available. People are holding on to their used cars more, longer. So it's costing more to buy a used car these days, from what I understand. And I bought a used car last year, about mid-year, and I paid more than I thought I should have. So that held for me. Some estate pipes, Michael, sell because of that, because there just wasn't a connection between that pipe smoker and the pipe. That could just come down to the shape of the pipe not feeling right to the smoker. I've sold pipes for that reason. Um, but you can tell if a pipe's been smoked a lot, and if it's been smoked a lot, it's probably didn't get sold because there was a problem with it. It probably got sold because the person stopped smoking altogether or passed away, unfortunately. And their kids sold the pipes. That's where the term estate pipe comes from. It's sold along with the rest of a person's estate. But yeah, I'm sure there are some pipes out there that only get smoked a few times and the person didn't like the way the pipe smoked and they sell it. Oh, nice, man. Ohio Pipe Show, huh? Good deal. I would say everything, going back to the McBaron blends, everything in the HH series of McBaron tobaccos. There's 6 or 7 of them. Those are all great. That's why I carried those. I think I think those are the best that McBaron has to offer. But there are some other blends I tend to like. I can't remember the blends that are small spun cut rounds like kind of like the Doblone Doro from Sabanelli. Those were good. Oh, hey, Steph. Good grief. I had another comment lurch. Michael, I am not versed in the Castello shapes myself. I don't own a Castello pipe. Gage, that is an Aperture Science t-shirt. Good for you. You solved my t-shirt riddle. What's my favorite Savinelli shape? Okay. Dave, my favorite Savinelli shape is probably the 320. I just love it. Yes, they're a bit heavy, but I can still clench them a bit. Um, but it's It's just a nice big bowl. Weighty, feels meaty in the hand, you know. It's a substantive pipe, but not an overly large pipe as far as length. Has a slight bend to it. Those are the type of pipes that I tend to go for. An ample tobacco chamber, fairly thick walls, nice slight bend. My second favorite shape after the 320 has got to be the 642. And it's like a 320, but a little more slender of a bowl with a bit more of a bend. This one you can clench pretty well. But that's my second favorite, the 642. And then I would have to say my third favorite is the 644, which is more compact, but similar in bowl size to the 642. Really good clincher, that one, with that saddle stem. Those are probably my top three Savinelli shapes. I should make a video of my favorite Savinelli shapes. '67 Plymouth Valiant. Wow. 48,000 original miles after it rolled over once or twice. That's hard to believe. 48,000 original miles. I got nowhere to put that. That kind of car needs to be garaged. And you see what I do with my garage. There would be no room for my shipping station or my little pipe nook here if I had a Plymouth Valiant sitting in here. Or any other car for that matter. Johnny from the Bahamas. Welcome. Steph, I think I've decided that flat caps aren't my thing. I really thought long and hard about it. But if you're still on here, I think I'm going to hold off for a while. I just like ball caps. That's more my speed. I think if I tried to wear a flat cap, it'd be like me wearing a long sleeve button-up shirt, which is also not my thing. And I had to do that for many, many years. So you're not going to see me in any long sleeve button-ups anytime soon. I'm a blue jeans, t-shirt, and ball cap kind of guy through and through. But they did look really nice, Steph. I wanted to like them. Well, I do like them. I just wanted to like them on my head. Just don't think that's in the cards. Not anytime soon. Now, when I become, somebody told me in the comments the other day that I had looked, in 2019 in my videos, I looked 40. And in 2020, I started looking 63 when I grew this beard. Um, that's accurate. I mean, well, I don't think I look 63, but I definitely look at least 10 years older than I did before the beard. And I think when I finally shave the beard, I'll look 10 to 20 years younger. And I'll shock and amaze you with my youthfulness. But maybe when I get old man proper, I'll start wearing those flat caps. I think men my age or even younger can rock the flat cap, don't get me wrong, but it just doesn't seem to be my style. And style is a strange thing because when I say style, like I said, I'm a blue jeans, t-shirt, ball cap kind of guy. That's how I see myself. I've always seen myself as long-haired, even though I've never had long hair before. So this fits me now. Um, the beard doesn't really fit me. It doesn't really suit me. It's not my favorite thing. It's just something I finally wanted to try. When I started working from home because of the pandemic, that was the time to finally try to grow a beard. Because it took about a month for anything to show up on my face. Anything substantial that you could say, oh, he's trying to grow a beard. That took a month. Good grief, there's the lurch again. My favorite in the HH series was probably Louisiana Red. I don't know if they still make that anymore. Oh no, you're talking about, I thought you meant Hearth and Home. In the McBaron HH series, it's Old Dark Fired, all the way. That's still my favorite. I would say that's my favorite blend still, even though I don't smoke it that much. I kind of treat it like gold because I don't want to get tired of it. I would say my predominant everyday smoke is Haunted Bookshop. That's what I tend to get 8-ounce tubs of the most. Um, Epiphany is a good one too. Um, Old Dark Fired to me is just full of flavor. But I don't want to get, I'm concerned I'll get tired of it if I over smoke it. I should really test that theory because I got plenty of it in the cellar. At this point, I'm smoking 2013 Old Dark Fired. So it's got 7, 8 years on it. Good stuff. Jeffrey, I kind of feel the same way about most things in the standard McBaron line. That Virginia number one is just hot lava for me. That's the worst one as far as tongue bite. Whatever McBaron uses in their standard casing, because it seems to be pretty universal. They don't put that in the HH line, and it definitely comes through. Definitely shows that it's absent. Bill McBaron has, I think they have 3 or 4 coin blends or spun cut blends. That is one of them. Um, I cannot, I cannot think of the name. I gotta look it up. I can't think of what I'm thinking of. McBaron. Where is it? Dark Twist is what I was thinking of. And also, seems like there was another one I really liked. Maybe not. But all of the HH blends, and then Navy Flake and Dark Twist is what I would recommend. And maybe the Club Blend too. And they have roll cake. McBaron Classics roll cake. Is the 320 the matches 860 Friday 7 Ellie? No, the matches Friday 7 Ellie was the 673 shape. And I would show it to you, but I put it up in the cabinet today. Took it out of my rotation for a bit. It'd been there for about a year. Of all the pipes I carry, the one I consider the best is unfortunately, and I didn't mean for it to be this way, but right now it's my most expensive pipe that I sell on the site. And that is the Rattray's Beltane's Fire Pipe. This pipe to me is perfection. It's my favorite pipe. It comes with 3 different colored stems, all the same shape. I love the curve. It kind of reminds me of like the yin-yang shape. It's just a perfectly shaped pipe for me. Decent sized bowl. Reminds me of a compact 320. but a bit more of a rounded bowl than that. Well, that's not even true. Yeah, that is true because the 320 is kind of oblong. I mean, much more oblong curves on the sides. But everything about this pipe is just, I mean, I could smoke this pipe all day, every day. Clenches super well. Love this pipe. Smokes like a dream, and it's 9mm filtered. That's been my favorite pipe almost since smoke number one, over a year ago. About 18 months ago. And then I started carrying them about a year ago. But that Rattray's Beltane's fire pipe, what a great shape. And they don't offer it in that shape in any other series, just the Beltane's fire. They had a limited series that they used that shape in, but it was just that. It was a limited series. And I think they're all gone now. Michael, currently I'm only doing the live streams on Wednesdays. I'm kind of playing with the idea of not having a set time for live streams and just going live whenever I feel like going live. And I'm thinking, yeah, you guys wouldn't be able to plan for that, but I'm thinking I would go live more often if I went that route. If whenever I just took a hair to go live, I did it, I think I'd go live 2-3 times. Chad, thank you so much. Care of Donald. You're managing Donald's funds these days? Well, thank you. But yeah, currently I'm doing the live stream every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Central. And I hate to keep sounding like an iconoclast, but um, there's something about like feeling like you have to do the live stream at a particular time on a particular day that doesn't appeal to me. Now, I always enjoy just sitting here having a smoke, shooting the bull with you guys, but I think I would personally enjoy it more if I just did it whenever. Um, that way, it would feel like a bonus when I did it, and a nice, pleasant surprise, and it wouldn't ever get to feeling like a chore. But we'll see. I'm still kind of pondering what to do about that. But not to mention, I always kind of miss dinner, eating dinner with the family. There's my fly. On Wednesday nights, I wind up with the semi-cold pizza, Wednesday's pizza night. And when school starts back, my wife's going to be expecting me to help out more. with the running around of children, the pickups and drop-offs and that kind of stuff. Now that I don't have the job and my work schedule is more flexible. So Wednesday night lights may be it may come to an end in August. But again, we'll see. Yardism, you rock your flat cap, sir. That was kind of what I was getting at earlier when I was talking about self-image, like how you see yourself. And I don't see myself in a flat cap. I see other people in flat caps and I think that looks nice. Just like I see other people with beards. And I think that looks nice. But I don't see myself as a flat capper and I don't see myself as a bearded person. If that makes sense. So I may wind up being just kind of a not a clean shaven guy all the time, just kind of have some mess on my face. But not a full-on beard. I could see that. But some things you put on, or at least for me, some things I put on to try to wear, and I feel like I'm trying to look like someone I'm not. Like a suit, my lord. I hate suits. And the only time you'll ever see me in a suit is for a wedding, which I try not to, a funeral, or a job interview. I actually had a job interview one time and the guy told me, I didn't get the job and he said, I would like to talk to you. And one thing he told me was, everybody else showed up in a suit and you didn't. And that really made me wonder if you were serious about this job. And I'm thinking, dude, I'm not going to wear a suit to work. Why do we go through this ridiculous song and dance where I have to wear a suit to the interview? You'll never see me in a suit again. I thought the interview went really well. But that was the first thing he told me, the primary reason I didn't get the job. And that irked me to no end. There was another time I had a similar feeling. And that was when I was in college and I was thinking I would possibly get a minor in education. I majored in English and I was trying to figure out my minor. And I tried to enter the School of Education and I had to submit an essay and a couple of letters of recommendation and whatnot. I submitted my essay on topic, thought it was a very good essay about my personal philosophy of education. And when I went to turn it in, whatever lady, the secretary or whatever of the School of Education, looked at it and said, "Oh, it's in manuscript. You'll have to rewrite this in cursive." And I said, "Well, the requirement was, which I didn't even understand this requirement, but she said the requirement, or I said, the requirement states it has to be handwritten. And I write in manuscript. I only sign my name in cursive. She's like, I'm sorry, it has to be in cursive. And I just kind of stared at her and I said, well, I'm sorry, I guess I'm not going to be in the School of Education. That just drove me nuts. And I saw it as like, this is the type of bullcrap bureaucracy I don't want to have any part of. And that's the school system, unfortunately. That's the school system as I see it. Now my wife would never get on camera and say that. She's an elementary school teacher. But I hear her stories about the things she has to deal with. Yeah, there's a lot of bureaucracy. A lot of federal regulation and interference, a lot of state level regulation and interference, a lot of local school district, county regulation and interference. And then you have the principal of your particular school. It's layers within layers of bureaucracy and just made up for the heck of it rules and regulations. It's surprising teachers get any teaching done. I'm sounding a lot grumpier tonight than usual, you guys. I'm getting on some soapboxes. I don't mean to. Steph, I appreciate that. About looking even younger than I am with the beard. I'm 46. Without the beard, I would wager to say I look 10 years younger than I actually am. But with the beard, I personally think I look about, well, I probably look my age, I would say. Whoa. Man, I've missed a lot of comments, you guys. I am sorry. So this is way old, but I think Tony 513, you're saying you want to see the 42? I think you mean the 642. That's this pipe right here. Which I'm looking at my video and it's funny, the video is much more staggered. The lag gets worse and worse as time goes by. There, now I'm showing the pipe. So we're like 20-25 seconds lag now when I started out with 2 or 3 seconds lag. That's interesting. Like YouTube's trying to teleprompt. You guys, I'm starting to have internet issues for some reason. So I better call it. We've been going for about an hour and 20 minutes. That's a good Wednesday night lights. That's a good Wednesday night lights. Let's see if I can rapid fire some questions here. It took me a while to come around to the haunted bookshop. I did not like it the first time I tried it. Tried it 2 or 3 smokes, didn't really, I mean, it was strong for me at the time. And just came off as kind of plain tasting and turned ashy quicker, or not ashy, but it turned stronger than I wanted it to quicker. But I put it away and came back to it 6 months or so later, and I liked it. I do like a Scudo, Michael Scott. Oh, I see the JJ Cale thing that I missed earlier. Well, thank you for that. Again, Donald and Chad. Talking about music, I started listening to some Kenny Wayne Shepherd the other day. You guys know Kenny Wayne Shepherd? Blues guitarist. Started out when he was young, in his teens. First album came out when he was 18 in the mid 90s, I think. People thought he was the next Stevie Ray Vaughan. And I've always liked his stuff that I've heard, down through the years, but I was digging through his albums this week a bit. Really like it. Really like his stuff. But I saw that I think it was Rolling Stone, no, it was Guitar World magazine, said he was the #3 blues guitar player of note. Like the #3 greatest blues guitar player after Eric Clapton and B.B. King. And I thought, okay, I do love Eric Clapton. And B.B. King is well deserved. And I like Kenny Wayne Shepherd, but I just couldn't believe they put him #3 out of all the amazing blues guitarists out there. Stevie Ray Vaughan, he beat out Stevie Ray Vaughan. I mean, come on. All right, let's see. Chad, thank you for taking care of the troll. You know what my favorite Aerosmith album is? I see some of you guys talking about Aerosmith a while back. Is Permanent Vacation from the 80s. Probably because that was my first Aerosmith album that I had any experience with as a kid. Pizza time for Cliff. All right, Cliffy. Getting there for me as well, buddy. Captain Earl, which is my favorite of the Latakia blends? I still tend to like lighter Latakia blends, so I would say Mystic Blend. Um, Reflections is even lighter than that. I think Mystic Blend is the sweet spot for me. But Private Stock is a little bit more Latakia, and it's also really good. That would probably be my second. But Honor Blend is my favorite of the Captain Earl's blends, and it doesn't have any Latakia. It's the only one that doesn't have Latakia in it. Yeah, you guys, thumbs up before you leave. I would appreciate that. Blue on black, I think it is, Travis. Yeah, blue on black. Blue on black. Mr. Marble's in his mouth. Yep, I listened to that the other day. Yeah, I was trying to think of that the other day too. Johnny Lang, that's right, Cliffy. Johnny Lang, I need to write that down because I want to check out some Johnny Lang too. He went Christian, like he made a Christian album or two. Johnny Lang. They came out around the same time. They were both young guns in the blues scene in the 90s. I never really got into Everclear, the band, or the drink. All right, you guys, we are going to close it out at almost an hour and a half. I'm going to go eat some pizza. And it was good hanging with y'all, as always. Didn't get to my other topics, but again, we'll get to them some other time. The live streams, I like to, we talk pipes and tobaccos. But then I also like to talk about other interests of mine. Some interests you guys share and some you don't. And, or maybe you'll find something of interest that you can look into. And the same with me and checking out the comments. You guys give me ideas of things to check out from time to time. So, all right, we're going to leave it at that. Glad y'all got to see me, and we'll chat with you later.